So how's your day going?
So this is how we're starting this off. Sorry, I had to copy Char's intro there. It's been a good day. It could have been worse. Tuesdays are my Mondays.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we got this, and then we've got editing to do. So we'll see how it goes. See how the
Oh,
day turns out.
you're editing?
Yeah, I want to post more like YouTube stuff. So I'm like dipping my toes in.
I keep saying everyone needs to have a YouTube channel.
It is true. I
It's
have seen like every content creator ever who's on Twitch say like post elsewhere, but especially YouTube.
yeah, well, because people can search and do search YouTube, right? But people
Mhm.
don't search on Twitch. Like it a lot of you guys are like good that you don't have like one viewer. Like you'll sit at
Mhm.
a lot of you sit at like 4 to upwards from there, which puts you above a lot of the streamers in the
It does.
category.
Yeah.
So many people are streaming with 1 or even 0. And I'm like, you don't even have yourself open
Yeah. Yeah.
on
When I
another
see
monitor.
0 viewers, oh man. You don't view yourself is crazy.
Yeah, and like so you're at the bottom, and no one will ever see you.
Yeah. You are at the very bottom. Although I guess it's also like a way to like if there's a high population category, if there's a bunch of ones,
Mm.
then in a way at being at 0 you're more noticeable.
No, because you have to scroll through all the ones. Like
Yeah,
it'll
but
never
like
show you
doesn't
the
Twitch have
people at the
you can
bottom.
go to the end? Actually, I don't think they do they?
No,
You have to
and
just
why
scroll
would
all the way to
you?
the bottom.
Right?
Let
Like
me go find those the diamonds in the rough to raise up. That's what Vhuddle's
I
for.
mean, some people do that, right? But
Yeah,
it's a rarity, and even then, like
very
you're
rare.
one person.
Yeah,
So now
very true.
you're up to the ones. But yeah, you make YouTube
No.
videos, and
Yeah.
like assuming the content's good, like you at least have a viewer base, even if they don't
Whoa,
come to
whoa,
your
whoa.
stream.
Low the roll. What was that about good content?
Well, that's fair.
Oh, my kryptonite.
Oof. Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to Vhuddle. Vhuddle. I'm Coda,
Vhuddle.
and I'm joined today by TT underscore blurry.
Yay.
Is that just Twitch TV underscore
Uh,
blurry?
it was Team Titan. I was a caster for an org.
Oh.
But so my username was like blurry. It used to be blurry 2412.
Hmm.
But I was shamed for having numbers in my name.
And people got glasses and you weren't blurry anymore.
Yeah. So then I don't know, picked up's the right word, but I was like casting for this org.
Hmm.
And they were like, "Why don't you? We see you stream. Why don't you just stream with like our banner and stuff?" And then they promoted me on some of their socials.
And I'm
All of it
assuming
fell
that
apart.
org fell
Yeah,
apart.
gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, is gone. But I enjoyed just being able to be blurry.
Hmm. You can
Although I will say some
change
people call
yourself
me
back, right?
T, and it freaks me out.
Can't you just change
Yeah,
your
but you
username?
can't be blurry because it's taken.
Hmm.
Blurry was always taken. To be fair, whoever's got blurry is holding that with like behind 2 locked doors.
That's why you put the blurry. Or
The
if they haven't streamed or anything in a like long time, I think you
Mhm.
can petition Twitch to get the username.
To get the username back.
Hmm.
I think they have to be inactive for 2 years, but that
Hmm.
would include watching streams and
That's fair.
chatting, which you can't see.
Yeah.
But I can always just do it to see if I could get it. That's true. There's another big streamer though that goes by Blur. He's also a VTuber.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched his stuff, but I've seen him in like collabs with
Oh,
people.
so he's regular blur. You're blurry, so you're even
Yeah, he's
more.
Blur and I'm
And then
Blurry, so it's
there's a blurriest.
the forbidden blurry.
But all right, so we kind of did a little bit of small talk, but the general vibes is that we are here to kind of like introduce you to potential additional viewers. As we were talking about earlier, YouTube is a good way to find viewership. Assuming that you are doing something that is, something that people will search for, and eventually, like people will come. You build it, they will come.
True.
So is there anything about yourself that you'd like to share to start us off with?
Um, in a way, I'm an anomaly in the VTuber community because I'm just so normal, you know, which is a curse in a way, right? Because I'm not, I don't have a tragic backstory. I'm not super anime, but if anything, I'm kind of relatable.
Hmm.
I Kira calls me Joe Regular, so that's where Joe from HR came from.
I
So I'm
call you
just kind of
Steve from
like
accounting.
every day. You do call me Steve from accounting, but I'm just kind of like, hey, it's like that guy that's like always nice to be around. Like I'm always at the barbecue, hanging out with people,
I was
just
gonna
kind
say
of there.
what makes you like unique is that you are everywhere all the time, always.
Yeah, I really enjoy supporting people in
Mm,
their endeavors. So if I can, be in stream and chat for a little bit, or I like to do that. It's
yeah,
fun.
Vhuddle's #1 stalker.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Cheerleader, number one cheerleader. I've got my
What'd
pom
I
poms
say?
ready. You know what? I don't. I think you said cheerleader. Now I think
Yeah,
about
yeah,
it.
yeah. Uh,
Editors.
yeah, me.
Future Coda
So
calling out.
yeah, your model is also pretty regular. It's one though that you made yourself, right?
Yeah, I used what was the app called? It's on Steam. It's pretty basic. Was it Vroid Studio? Which lets you make,
Hmm.
all kinds of, not all kinds, but pretty basic models, all things considered.
Hmm.
And I went in and I started with the template and I pretty much just removed a lot of the template. And then, but I ended up just going with guy with sweatshirt on and I added more bones to my hair and stuff and added glasses. But all in all, it's not like a 2D art or anything
Mm.
like pretty like most people's in this in
Yeah,
Vhuddle.
you're 3D tuber.
I'm a 3D tuber. I got an extra dimension. You know,
Do you take
bit cord.
advantage of it? Do you lean around a lot?
I do. I When I'm streaming, I move side to side and like back and forth quite a bit to be like a bit more expressive.
Mm.
Which is kind of a conscious decision because I was like, I want to express because I'm a big hands talker.
Mm.
But so I basically translated my hand talking into like head moving and head talking.
And now
And I've noticed
you're extra limited because we've forced you to be a PNG.
yeah, I am quite literally right now I am quite literally PNG with not my own face. But otherwise. But yeah, I mean I also enjoyed the 3D model because Vroid Studio has a fun mechanic where you can like make a pose.
Hmm.
So I like to post, little shit post things on Twitter.
Yeah, I see them all the time. Uh, yeah, I used to have a 3D model, but everyone told me I was cursed and they were scared of it, so I quickly transitioned away.
Quickly said, "Hurry to KFC,"
Yeah,
and then you
yeah.
just
Oddly, I was
no,
hungry at
you're.
the time, so
I was getting my art done, and I was just like, I was feasting for it. Now, I think your auto looks sick. I've looked at getting, or I've thought about getting like a 2D model.
mhm.
My problem is that like they're just a bit too anime for what my personality is.
It depends also on what you like, what you ask for, right?
That's
Like
true.
this
Yeah.
was 100% like the my mall artist Rico Studios, love him. He's very hands on about like, what do you want? Do you have reference material? Like, do you need an adjustment here? Like, so I was able
Right.
to like laser focus down the model's art, which I really appreciate.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. I
if
don't.
you give someone like more realistic or like less animeified like references and whatnot, I'm sure you'll get something more along the lines of what you want.
Yeah, but also money. You know.
Yeah, money's also a thing.
Money. There's a
it,
reason. There's a
it's
reason this asset was free.
it's not a cheap hobby.
Yeah. That's why I kind of looked at doing like pre-mades because then
Mhm.
it's cheaper and it would allow me to explore the limits of like what you can do
Yeah,
with live 2D stuff. But I look at them and I'm like, that's just not me. Maybe I've always thought I go like complete opposite direction, and I just get pretty lady instead of Joe from HR, and I'll just
Or
have pretty lady model.
I'm sure there's like stick figure model, right? Like that's as unanime as you can get. It's just a stick
True.
figure.
Stick figure guy. Oh yeah, that's Joe the stick.
No, we just get like any model, whatever it is, and then we just blur it.
Add a blur stick.
That's actually genius.
People like rubbing on their phones or their computers. I've got something on my screen. And it's like, nope, that's me.
This is the blur mosaics.
Have a redeem for like putting on your glasses where the model clears up.
Brilliant.
Glasses. Oh my goodness. Cats.
So what kind of content do you usually make?
I vary quite a bit in the sense that I really just enjoy playing games with people.
Mhm.
In that sense, I have like a few standard games that I like revert back to, mostly because they're easy to play by yourself. Which is games like Valorant, League of Legends, and Naraka Blade Point, which is a Chinese battle royale game. But outside of that, I do like playing games that other people are playing. We've been playing a lot of Lethal Company lately. We played there's a Faz game. We've played Jackbox a couple times. Stuff like that. I'm always ready to dip my toes into untested waters.
Oh yeah, you're an often volunteer for the collabs, which is appreciated.
I am like background character C. I'm just kind of I fill in really well in a lot of different settings.
No, you bring a lot of fun to the collabs. I
Yeah.
feel.
You listen, if everyone's a main character, then it's probably a bad show. You need your background character,
Oh my
and
god.
that's where I come in.
So the VTuber equivalent of static.
Yeah. No, I'm like the sky in a painting.
Mm.
It's like, oh yeah, look at these beautiful buildings, and then the sky's also got to be there. I'm just the sky that's also there.
Yeah. All right.
Somebody has to laugh at the jokes other people tell.
So you mentioned Naraka, which, if I'm remembering it right from your tweets and such, you rank pretty well in Naraka.
Yeah, I haven't had the game for too long. I Kira got me into it last year in like November. Um, and since then it's been like exponential growth. It's one of those games where like the leveling up like rank wise is pretty slow.
Mm.
But I will say I have been pretty consistent with like climbing the proverbial ladder of ranks and have been doing pretty well, which makes the game a lot more fun. Obviously, if you're winning.
It's a lot more fun until you get put into like the hardcore
That's yeah, very
grouping.
when I see like when I see some of the best players in the games also in my game, and I get introduced to that level of skill, I'm just like, ooh.
But it's
But I don't think,
validating.
yeah, but I also don't think like I would ever play the way they play because I don't find it fun. At the end of the day,
Mm.
that's what the game is for me, fun.
Yeah, a lot of times hardcore players will, I don't want to say ruin the game, but the way they play is not for your general gamer.
Yeah, well, it's the way they seek enjoyment from games, which isn't
Mm.
wrong. Like I've played certain games like that where the way you have fun at times is by winning. And I played some games like that, and it's really it feels awful at times, especially if you don't win.
Mm.
But when you play a game and you play it specifically with the mindset of enjoying a part of the game, then even though you want to win, if you lose, it's not like, oh, this was a waste of time, which I don't want. I never want to feel like I wasted time playing.
Yeah.
I'm a big time guy.
So as I usually ask is whenever you become a content creator, there's usually something that like inspired you that's like, I want to start making videos about blank or whatever. What inspired you to like either become a streamer or with whatever content you make?
Yeah, when I first started off, it was even more casual than it was now. I mean, I started like streaming on Twitch with this account in 2017. And it was really just I'm playing video games. I might as well be live on Twitch.
Hmm.
What's the harm? And that's kind of the mentality I had for a good while. I'd stream, every like couple weeks or sometimes couple months, just whenever I felt like it. And then with when COVID happened, I was one of those lucky few who were an essential worker.
Hmm.
So it never
Didn't
slowed
get the
down.
time off.
I didn't get the time off, but I moved to like an overnight job. So what happened is that I would be getting home right at like I'd be waking up at like 2 o'clock ish. But by then my friends were sleeping because they stayed up till like 1 a.m.
Hmm.
So what I ended up doing was just streaming, and that's when I streamed a lot in 2020, and I got some pretty good viewership then,
Yeah.
like an average of 5 to 10. Nothing crazy, but nothing just like
No,
five to
I mean,
ten
5 to 10 is very good. A
is
lot of
huge.
people,
Yeah,
like a lot of viewership went up in 2020 for some
yeah,
weird reason.
yeah. Not quite sure why, but um, I also was playing like one specific game when I was streaming. And then obviously, as I do, I want to play other video games.
Mm,
And I got discouraged when, like, the people who were there for one specific game didn't go to the other one, which
right.
is, in hindsight, totally fine.
Yeah, and it happens for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, especially like if you, and the game's kind of niche. It's a football manager, it's like a sports simulator game.
Oh, yeah.
So like it's not like going from like one FPS game to another where they're like, "Oh yeah, I can make
Right.
comparisons." It's kind of like, "Oh, totally different world."
Completely jumped niche. Yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of got discouraged when streaming other stuff and kind of went away. And I started streaming a lot last year again. And the reason is I was playing Valorant one day and just casually with a group of friends. And Kira dropped her link in chat after a game. She was on the other team with another 5-star. And that's how I met Kira. I looked for the link.
Uh-huh.
And then I was in her streams for a good bit because they were fun. I was having a blast. This was old Kira too. Kira was crazy.
Was.
Oh yeah, sorry, is still crazy. But she really inspired me to like have like stream again and to have fun streaming. Just by watching her for a few months, and it's kind of snowballed unexpectedly,
Mm,
and here I am today, which is
here
weird.
you are.
Yeah.
Any regrets?
Any regrets? Not all. The only thing I could regret is not starting streaming again sooner, is
Mm,
because and putting effort into it. I think before I was kind of lackadaisical. Like I
yeah.
didn't post on other social medias and stuff, which I mean, to be honest, the only reason I like to post on other social medias is clips and stuff that I enjoy. So
Mm,
like if I go back, they're really for me that other people can also enjoy.
yeah.
Is kind of the way I do clips and stuff. Which might be why they don't get too many views, but honestly, that's not really like a mental concern of mine. I'm really just kind of having fun.
Hmm. I think that it's that you kind of hit the nail on what I, having been a content creator for off and on for the past over decade, um that I always like find myself like running into is no one ever puts like enough effort in, and even whenever like I would say I'm currently not putting enough effort in, like there's always more effort that can be put in unless you're like Mr. Beast,
Oh
and
yeah,
who
yeah,
spends
fair.
8 hours per thumbnail.
Yeah, that's also what money can get you though, is to be
Yeah,
able to afford to do that. We have regular people jobs and problems like bills.
like I'm sure on this video that you are watching, and you can notice this yourself. I probably
Oh,
put
thanks
in
for
a
bringing that up.
good amount of editing within the first like 5 minutes, and then past then it's gonna just be back and forth camera action.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair though, to be honest. I mean, this is a podcast too. The
Yeah.
vibes definitely are a bit different than like a super edited video based on like a game or
Mm.
a topic.
Did you watch all of the last one with Char?
I did. I had it sped up at 2 times speed.
Did
But I did watch it and I did listen.
That's fair. I
But
was
it was
I was
two
gonna
hours, and
ask
I was
if
like,
like the piano in the background was distracting, or what are your thoughts on
"Ah,
it?
okay, maybe it's because I was watching it 2 times speed.
Uh,
I was hyper fixated on your
on the
and Char's
conversation.
voices.
Mm.
Yeah, which I have siblings, and like I've got a couple siblings, so I have like grown. Like I have a innate ability of just like tuning out specific things
That's fair.
and stuff like that. But yeah, I didn't notice the piano, but I was all 2 times speed with you and Char was crazy.
Really, I thought that we paused a lot, and I tried to like cut those out. Because Char gets very self-conscious when you're talking with her. Yeah, apparently, in this kind of setting.
That makes sense. Yeah, I will say one-on-one settings are definitely like a different vibe than like a group setting.
Mhm.
Like if there were 4 people here on your casting couch, as it was,
But then we couldn't get as
then
intimate, right? I'm trying to get to the root of who Blurry is.
I said casting couch and he said intimate. Okay. No. Yeah, I also agree. There's like it's different, but it's a different vibe.
Hmm.
And I definitely get that for some people, like it getting them not like being sure how to, chat it up. It's
Hmm.
like trying to fill space when nobody's around on stream.
Yeah,
That's also like the same kind of skill, I'd say.
it's a good skill to learn, though. I think talking to yourself,
Oh,
great.
definitely. I mean,
I do
especially
it
when
all the
you're
time.
Well, yeah, especially when you're starting streaming and stuff.
Hmm.
Like you, when somebody comes into chat, um, they're probably not just going to open up and start talking. They're probably going to see how it is, and if you're entertaining with nobody around, then you're probably more entertaining with people around.
Hmm. Uh,
I think that's how it goes.
so is there anything that like from your time as a streamer, like you said you've done it a little bit off and on? Is there any like specific moment that sticks out to you as like a good memory or anything from your time?
Um, Not super specifically, I'd say, because I guess like I remember the fear and high of getting rated by like somebody with 200 viewers
Oh my
at a
god.
time.
Yeah.
Like that that was awesome and also scary, you know?
Yeah, I could.
That's how that felt.
So I have a story to share with that if you'd like to hear.
Yeah, go ahead.
So my old friend, who's no longer with us, Benny, um, me and him one day were playing Marvel's Avengers had just came out, and we were playing it together. And as he was ending his stream, he had like 600 viewers. As he was ending his stream, I started my first stream at my new house. I did not have good internet at the time, and it was kind of I was having to finick with settings. So
Mhm.
he raids me with all 600 viewers as my
Oh
stream is
no.
crashing.
Oh no.
By the time my
No.
internet like came back, everyone was gone.
Oh, that feeling's so rough.
Yeah, 200 viewers though. Who was it that rated you? Is it someone you know or?
I didn't. I knew them as a content creator. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know them personally.
It was just a
It was
random.
Yeah. It was another. It was a back in Football Manager. It was like the biggest English Football Manager person, like American Football
Oh,
Manager streamer on Twitch.
I
Rated
was,
me,
I was about to say
which is
English. Then we're talking about
yeah.
different football.
No English speaker, but no American. Biggest
Mm.
American streamer. Zealand. And his community is awesome. Like it was a great, but it was super daunting to suddenly
Right.
have so many people there just show up.
I wonder if that happens a lot, where big streamers will raid like Joe Schmoes, because like I kind of don't do that.
Oh yeah.
If you don't have the like skills and the and you're not like mentally prepared for viewers, if they are suddenly there,
Yeah. It's so intimidating.
yeah, it's gonna go worse for you than if you slowly built up to it.
Yeah, that's probably part of the blessing of being like our size, kind of, is
Mm,
that when we raid people with like, 5 to 10 people, like it's gonna seem like a lot to somebody with like 1 or 2 viewers.
yeah,
But it's also like it's not throwing them into the deep end entirely. Like they've got their floaties on.
and if you got rated by like someone else around this size, like it's like, oh, sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. Welcome,
Mm.
Go into stream like real streamer mode, start chilling.
I also think that around our size is whenever you start getting to the point where you don't really care about that number. Also,
Hmm.
you're just streaming for the sake of streaming or to make content out of the stream, and you're not really like hyper fixated on, oh, I have a viewer, now I have to like get them to focus on me, and then the viewer goes away and you just go deadpan until another one pops up.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I think especially at our size too, it's you get to a point where like people really start thinking about growth seriously,
Hmm.
But in a way it becomes a burden of
Yeah.
like mentally. Where I think like we're still kind of in the like the free made, like the freeing kind of mentality
Hmm.
of like we don't feel the internal like disappointment from something not doing too well.
Yeah.
It obviously sucks, but we're not like, oh my god, the views are
I'm a
down. I can't.
failure.
Yeah, stuff like
uh
that.
But yeah, sorry if I'm steering the question too much into content creation, but I'm trying to
We
think
are
of
content creators.
I'm trying to think of questions aside from what I asked Char. Um, and I asked her a lot of general ones because I didn't want her to be too nervous.
I mean, that's fair. You can ask me like any questions, to be honest,
Oh,
except for my home address.
well, damn it.
The line stops there.
I'll blur it for the viewers.
Yeah, I gotta hold on. Let me Google the White House's address real quick. That'll
Pennsylvania
be fun.
Avenue.
Yep, 1 Pennsylvania Avenue. Perfect.
Mr. President, Joe,
Mr. President.
yeah, actual Joe.
Yeah. Not Joe Regular, Joe Biden.
He's a little Joe regular. Dude likes to talk about trades.
I like trains. Joe Biden, FNAF lore guru. Bet you didn't see that one coming.
No, I did. I've seen the
Wait a
videos.
minute. Wait a minute.
Him and Trump playing Fortnite. I know they're gamers.
I bet they are gamers. Truly.
Um. Oh, here's one that Char couldn't answer that I know you must have thoughts on.
Okay.
So with a VTuber, you must like anime.
This is true to an extent.
Why is everyone fighting me on this?
Okay, I really do like anime, but if we're gonna get like super recent, I go through like phases where like 1 year I'll be super into anime and I'll like catch up with everything I've missed. But then like for 2 years I don't watch super new shows. But I do really like anime.
What's your favorite?
Okay. I'm kind of telling on myself. This for context, I got into anime really late
Uh-huh.
as like like I got into it when I was like I don't know if really late's the right word. I got into it when I was like 13, 14. But for like people my age, anime was kind of coming beforehand, I guess.
Uh-huh.
But also I got it on Amazon Prime when I was, and it was like when anime first showed up there.
Amazon Prime had anime when you were 13. I'm just
Yes.
dying of my oldness. Go ahead.
Well, okay, no. So here's the thing, right? It was like one of the first stuff going on to Amazon Prime that was anime related. So
Mhm.
like it's not there anymore. But it was called Infinite Stratus.
Oh, yes. I know this one.
So I understand what kind of anime it is, and I understand it's not peak fiction,
Here's a
but
clip.
it's like
私は死ののの放棄
it's like I've got my like rose tinted glasses on
Mm.
of like when I was experiencing it, it was anime for me the first time, so there were no tropes with it. I
Oh
just
yeah, that's
like
fair.
the tropes that were in it to me were the first experience
I
of it. So
honestly, I think Infinite Stratos is a perfectly good anime. Like,
it's got good art. I think that's the
yeah,
sleeper part. Is the art's in it really good? Now, if you know other like harem type anime, then obviously like it's clicking all the cliche
yeah.
boxes.
There,
But as like the first one, it's pretty fun.
yeah. I so I'm old enough that my first harem anime would be Girls Bravo, which I
I
think
watched that.
pioneered
Watched
the
that.
genre.
Yep, I've seen Girls Bravo. Okay, hold on. So after I watched Infinite Stratus, I got into like a harem time. I don't know
Yeah,
time loop.
it'll you'll be trapped down that hole for a
Was
while.
okay. I don't remember if it's Girls Bravo or if I'm thinking of another one. Was Girls Bravo the one where the guy was allergic if he touched a girl?
He had gynophobia. Yeah, so he was afraid of women.
Oh, was that the one? I might be dating myself more. Was the main like female antagonist, or I guess romance interest? Was she like she used to be super buff and shredded, but now she was all cute, and
I
she
th-
gave him trauma?
I believe so. Yes, I believe that is it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I enjoyed that one.
If
I,
not, that's a very similar one
so
to Girls
I
Bravo.
think we share anime tastes, Coda. I think this is gonna work out. I
uh,
really think this one's kind of sleeper. I just want to throw this in here before we move on.
go ahead.
Uh, my favorite anime, truly, like outside of the rose tinted glasses,
Hmm.
is it's Tenchi Muyo War on. I think it's pronounced Gunmar.
Oh yes.
It's
Uh
a Tenchi Muyo spinoff, and it's like super unrelated, and it's got mechs in it and stuff.
huh. Hmm.
But it is such it makes me have fun watching it type stuff. And I think that's where I seek my enjoyment from all media is to just have fun like doing it. But
Hmm.
that for me is probably my favorite anime ever.
So when I was young, my favorite anime was Love Hina, which again is a harem anime.
Of course, listen, we're two peas of a pod, you
and
know?
and then it was replaced for Rosario Vampire, which
Oh, that one's a really good one.
yeah, it got like if you read the manga outside of the anime, it turned
Mhm.
into like a shonen battle, which like
Oh,
also
really?
like Negima is another one that's
Uh-huh.
like, oh, this is a typical harem. Oh, never mind, this is like top tier shonen with like an actual power system that matters and
That's
stuff.
crazy. I did not know that.
Um, but I then read the light novel for Spice and Wolf, and then I watched the
See that
anime for that, and it became like it is still to this day my favorite.
are they remaking Spice and Wolf
Yeah,
or like
it's
redoing
airing
it?
now with a full remake that's going to cover the whole light novel because the first one
Okay.
only covered like the first third, and then it kind of skipped an arc and jumped to the middle.
Like classic old anime.
Yeah, well, because in the anime industry, basically, like anime is meant to sell something. So the light novel was going on at the time. That's why they made the anime, but the light novel ended, so they were like, "Well, we aren't continuing that."
Yeah, the the struggle of having the source material end.
Yeah, but yeah, we can. Oh wait, that this is important. Okay, so you ask the favorite anime, so people will be like, "Oh yeah, I like that anime too." And then you ask the least favorite anime, so that way we get the haters to
Ooh,
comment down
the
below.
least favorite.
Hmm.
Okay, least favorite. Now let me make sure I get this right one because I know exactly what it is, but I don't want to. Yep. Okay. Have you? This is famous. This is a famous bad anime,
Oh, okay.
and judging on your anime tastes, you might have seen it. Have you heard of the anime called School Days?
What? It's not bad.
What do you mean it's not bad?
No, its twist ending is like peak.
Peak.
It's literally like, oh, this is just a rom-com between a guy and two girls. Oh, never mind, she murdered them.
Okay, yeah, but okay, it's a rom-com between a guy and two girls, but doesn't he sleep with like 5 women?
No, he sleeps with both of the main 2 female leads, one behind the other's back.
What, doesn't he sleep with 2 of the other leads' friends though? I'm pretty sure.
I don't remember that. I remember he slept with the 2 girls, and that's what made the yandere one murder them. It was because she felt betrayed.
Well, yeah, classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, the twist ending is crazy.
I thought you were gonna say like Ghost Stories.
Ghost Story. That might not be something I've seen.
Oh, it has a fantastic English dub.
Yeah, it's the English dub where they didn't give them a script or whatever, so they just did whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
Which honestly is hilarious.
Where the rabbit was like, touch me harder.
I've seen the clips.
That's all you need. Like watching it, I feel like you get a few funny moments, and then it's a lot of like yapping.
Mm-hmm.
But if you just watch the clips and all you get is the funny moments, and it becomes top tier.
Wow.
There's another one. It was made more serious, but also it is incredibly stupid. I forget what it's called. I think it's called like King's Game or something like that. But it's basically a death game anime where these students get like a text message. It's like, you have to do this. If you don't, people will die, basically, or you die. And like, as a plot point, the main character was already in a death game before, the year before, and that's why he moved into this new town where the new death game's happening. And at the old one, his childhood friend fails her thing and goes blind as a result of it.
Oh, wow.
So she's blind. Then he sees a message that she wrote where she walked by herself to the ocean. Mind you, she's blind.
Oh.
And she wrote a message about how she loved him while blind, newly blind, and just walked into the ocean and drowned herself.
What the fuck?
It's like,
man.
You didn't want to look that over one more time? The blind person wrote a note and then walked away.
Walked into the ocean and drowned.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That, you know what? That's pretty good.
I recommend it. I
recommend. You know what? I think I've got the gist from our conversations. I think I'll check that one off my watch list. My never-ending, growing watch list.
When do you have time if you're in everyone's stream?
Oh, when do I have time? Even if I wasn't in anyone's stream.
Whose stream do you have open right now?
Honestly, no one, because no one from Vhuddle's streaming right
now. Oh, I thought Char was streaming. I saw her streaming earlier.
Not anymore. The hard part. So normally, what happens, because we have so many early streamers, is when I'm at work, because I get to work from home 3 days a week.
Yeah.
I'm blessed like that. I know. I throw on people's streams, and I'll drop a few messages while I'm in there. I'll watch as like a side thing.
Yeah.
While I'm also working. But when I'm at home or when I'm working from the office, I can't do that, and I feel like I miss out on those days.
Right. I feel bad for the people that are like streaming while I'm asleep, because we do have we have a couple Australians and stuff. I'm like,
Get some early birds my time.
They're the only people I haven't been able to like jump in the stream for.
Yeah. You know, like I know Char streams earlier, which is great because I catch her streams.
Mm-hmm.
Sin also streams super early for me.
Yeah.
But she streams like 8-9 hours.
Yeah, forever. Yeah.
It's the grind set for Sin is crazy.
And like I'll like hop in and she's playing like Guild Wars 2. And then like 4 hours later she's playing another game. And then she's back to Guild Wars 2.
She's probably playing WoW in the middle of that.
Yeah.
I mean, Sin is juggling multiple MMOs, and that is so impressive. As somebody who doesn't play MMOs normally,
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, that
I'm-
looks like a lot of work.
I'm gonna have to talk to her about MMOs because I'm gonna be playing 14's new DLC this week.
Ooh.
So that's got my weekend booked.
You can also, I know Def plays a lot of Final Fantasy.
Yeah, he was playing it earlier today. There's him and Patty, I know for sure, play 14.
Mhm.
I kind of want to
Yeah.
get a raid group together from Vhuddle.
The Vhuddle guild, some would say. That would be crazy.
So, aside from streaming and watching other people's streams, what hobbies do you got?
See, I'm an extremely like inside person.
Mhm.
So like I stream because what I mostly do to like chillax and like hang out is just play video games. So most of the time I'm live, I'm just doing it because that's what I would be doing on my off days. I just play video games. I
Mhm.
just don't stream them. Outside of that, I read a little good bit. I read a lot of manga. Gotta stay up to date with the source material. And I understand how cringe it is, but I'm not ashamed of myself. I read fan fiction quite a bit as like a source of media.
Oh yeah, when are we getting the Tamlin blurry fanfiction?
That's what I'm saying. I keep bringing it up to Kira. I keep dropping hints, and she keeps saying, one day when I get the donation, but she doesn't give me an amount. There's no price set on it.
It's like $1,000.
Okay, might be a bit too. Wait, hold on. Depending on how many words she's dropping.
It's an investment. Just think of it as an investment.
Yeah, that would be an investment for sure.
She's just gonna one day like take 50 Shades of Grey and name replace you and 50 Shades of Blurry.
Use 50 Shades source material, Twilight. Put me in Twilight.
They're the same. They're the same
make
thing.
Me shimmer in the sun. That's what I want to do. I want to sparkle.
God, I can't believe that series was popular.
I mean, dude.
I read it.
My mom loved it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was lucky that like nobody my age really liked Twilight, I guess.
Mm.
Some of them might have kept it a secret. But like I didn't
closely guarded.
I didn't get like firsthand cringe from Twilight. I gotta like see it later, in memes on the internet.
Delayed cringe is very common in the young adult books. True. Like you're a fan of Harry Potter, and then you go on Twitter one day. It's like, oh, oof.
Sorry to hear that. I will say, in a weird way, like my niche is of like book enjoyment as a teen or like young kid or like young adult.
Mm-hmm.
The books that I really enjoyed that were series were not super popular enough to get like the weird fandom for them. So like in a weird way, I've been like passed over like being the cringe.
I'm lucky that as far as like the fan groups, because I liked Aragon and Percy Jackson. Those were my two books, and like the fans aren't really all that cringy. Now the first Percy Jackson movies, those were cringy.
Yeah.
But the new Disney Plus show is pretty good.
See, it's like a weird like section. So obviously Percy Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know his other series that he's done?
Yeah, there was the one in the Norse mythology. What was the dude's name? Magnus something. One.
So,
go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I did the Egyptian one. Like that was
the Canes. I was about to say the Canes was also really good.
The Canes, that was, but so like I didn't even know it was part of the same because I never read Percy Jackson.
But in the first, there's a teaser in the first book where the brother Cain is looking out towards the Statue of Liberty, and he sees a boy flying a Pegasus. And so that takes place then around like the time of the 8th Percy Jackson book, whenever they're fighting on Olympus.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Same thing with Magnus. It's also in the same universe. And there's literally a part where they also mention that Jesus exists.
Of
So
course.
I can't wait for
Big man
Rick
himself.
Riordan to make a Jesus. Like, no.
Holy, the world's not ready for Jesus done by Rick. Rick
I would
Riordan.
love it. Are you kidding me? I want to know what he would wear in the modern day, because that's kind of part of the fun with seeing like the myths in the modern day, and you get like Ares wearing a biker jacket and stuff.
Bro,
What would
I don't
Jesus
know.
wear?
what would Jesus? What's Jesus's drip level?
Yeah.
That would be crazy.
Also, are we talking like historically accurate Jesus or American Jesus where he's white?
True. Or what if we go like, way out of left field? What if it's alien Jesus?
Oh, I'd be down for alien Jesus.
What if it's Cthulhu?
Flying spaghetti monster.
The spaghetti god. Okay, wait. There is a Jedi religion. So, could we see
There is a
Jedis
Jedi. Sure. He's
think
owned by Disney now. Yeah.
the ultimate crossover event? Jedis show up at Olympus.
Dude, this is the new Avengers that we're putting
Oh
together.
my God. Let's go.
As Marvel falls, another shall rise.
Rest in peace, Marvel.
Are you a Marvel fan?
For me, it ended with is it Endgame? Was the second one, right?
Yeah.
It ended with me then. I had kind of like when it first started, I was in like prime age to consume everything. So like Iron Man came out and I was like, oh, this is so good. And then, all the movies to follow. But I was kind of getting burnt out when Infinity War came out, but I enjoyed it. And then Endgame for me was like the true like ending as a fan and consumer.
That's totally fair.
Yeah, after that I haven't been interested.
I'm still in the interest of it. I've always been a Marvel fan. But I will say the multiverse saga is not going great.
I have seen people be like, "Ooh, the multiverse stuff has not panned out."
I think
the way they were.
I think there was an entirely different idea going into this, that they were gonna like try and like reset everything with like new Avengers and stuff, and have like Avengers versus the Thunderbolts and all that, which all is on the docket, but
Right.
it got muddled in with this multiverse stuff because Kevin Feige is a big X-Men fan. It's the like
Oh, gotcha.
those are the movies that like gave him his start in the film industry. So I think as soon as Marvel got back the X-Men rights from Fox, he was like, okay, we are fast tracking X-Men into the Marvel Cinematic Universe as fast as possible, and it fucked up the whole thing.
Damn. Didn't they have? I guess they ended their end game was the goal. They had director like what was it the Russo brothers?
Mhm.
I can't remember. Who were like they weren't the directors of every movie, but they were in charge of the timeline of everything.
No, that's just Feige.
Was that Feige?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like that kind of stuff. I think that's where like Star Wars, the new trilogy, where they messed up is that they didn't have like the god power person over the storyline.
Can we
Which is why
talk
it's
about
so
Star
good.
Wars for a bit?
Yes, absolutely.
Because like I liked the beginning of the new trilogy.
Episode
course.
7 was so good.
hmm
It was so good.
Even Han dying, I was like, damn, this is really impactful.
Damn. But it fit, right?
And then
but it's it's ruined because what it sets up doesn't pay off. Like,
well, that's because who was it that did 8?
what's his face who did Knives Out, which was a fantastic. But
yeah, Ryan Johnson.
Although I will say there are issues that I had with 7 that are like cleaned up. Like I did, I don't know if you remember, all the promotion material was showing, Finn as being the Jedi.
Yeah.
And then obviously the twist was that it was Rey.
Right. They wanted to keep it as a secret, but as soon as I saw Rey, I was like, okay, she's a Jedi.
But I still I wanted the main character to be Finn, you know?
Yeah.
So much of the first episode was Finn's story.
Yeah,
it
was very interesting and engaging because he was a stormtrooper.
Then he gets shoveled off in 8 and 9. I mean, I have seen people been like, if he had died in 8, his character arc would have been very good.
Yeah, I agree. Rose saving him at the end was one of the worst decisions.
Rose
as a character was one of the worst decisions.
Rose was tough.
The actress was great.
The actress was great. Rose as the character, like, she's an interesting character in a vacuum.
Mm-hmm.
But the way she was utilized for the story was not enjoyable to consume.
But I agree. Now they still hint up until episode 9 that Finn is force sensitive, but they hinted Han was force sensitive and he never became a Jedi. It's like, either do it or don't.
Yeah. What I hope, I know all the actors have said like they're done with Star Wars because of like the negative kind of. John Boyega especially has said they're kind of done with Star Wars. But I would have liked if like after this they would have they shoot into the future, you know, where maybe he's got like a band of force sensitive people, not people who are good enough to be Jedi, but like because the whole 9 movie he's like, Rey, I have to tell you something, Rey, it's really important. I need to tell you something. And I thought he was going to confess his love to, which I'm pretty sure is like the red herring. But,
the other thing is that he's force sensitive. Like, it's one of those two.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, I'm actually force sensitive. It almost made me like roll my eyes at the time frame. Also, they fly now. You know,
they fly now. Like, there weren't jetpack troopers.
They fly now.
Like,
which is
all you have to do is have someone that's actually seen Star Wars. It's not that hard.
Yep. It is extremely tough. And then obviously we were in a kind of Star Wars golden era for a bit. Recently with a new show that's out right now, the fan base has been kind of upset. Yeah, Acolyte. The fan base has been kind of torn, some would say.
I haven't seen it because I was like, oh, I love the High Republic era. That's actually like, that's the goated era for Star Wars. Right. But then I saw the feedback. I was like, I'm gonna wait until the whole thing's out.
Yeah, that might just be the best play, is to wait so you can binge it.
Which I did with Obi-Wan because I saw the same feedback, and Obi-Wan was really good as a binge.
Obi-Wan was really good as a binge.
Same thing with Ahsoka. I really enjoyed Ahsoka after binging.
Yeah, I think that's probably the hard part with like doing things that are misleading in like a series show where you have like 10 episodes. It's like, especially when you're doing a weekly, if you're misleading the fan base and towards something that is just not enjoyable to like think about, then that's what everyone's going to think it is. So like if there's some switch up, it'll be super cool in the end, you know, with the Acolyte. But right now everyone's just like, this is what it is. This is awful. And apparently they canceled season 2 of Acolyte
already.
Yeah, based off the feedback. Did not
honestly they need to probably like what they sat down to do with Marvel, they need to do it with Star Wars, where they're like, okay, cancel projects that like we don't have to get out right now. Let's sit down and actually think about what this series is supposed to be.
Yeah.
Which I honestly, this is just what I think every studio should do. Disney, Sony, Warner Brothers, with anyone that has like a sprawling universe that has a fandom behind it, is hire someone who's like the chief of lore or something like that. Like, you hire someone that knows about that universe. So that way, like, whenever you're making something, you can run it by this guy and be like, hey, how will this fit, do you think?
Yeah. Which also,
do you think we should make a Boba Fett series where he mostly just sits around in a bathtub tank and we devote an entire episode instead to the Mandalorian. What do you think about that?
I think, you know what? As the executive, I think lock it in also. Bring Jabba the Hutt back while we're at it. I think also with that kind of stuff, especially, like, it's so weird because Disney, when they bought it, which is understandable that they wiped the slate clean, right?
Right.
Because all the books and stuff,
And they conflicted too. The books,
conflicted. Yeah. There was it was hard to tell what's canon, what's not canon. Sometimes they bought it. They said, okay, only the movies, and then they threw in Clone Wars and the Rebels, which are great,
right?
And then they said, going forward, everything that we put out will be canon, unless they specifically say this is not canon. Like they did with the Legends or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's so weird then that you have any issues with continuity.
Right.
You've limited what the continuity was to begin.
There should be no They Fly Now. There shouldn't be.
They Fly Now is crazy. Yeah.
Also, like, the character of Luke, like, he's somebody that, like, he's the main character of what started the whole thing. You have to get his character right. You can't have the last hope lose hope.
Yeah, what's so weird about Luke is the movies did him dirty, obviously, right? But at the same time, they put out games, which are canon.
Yeah.
Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront, I think it's 2, which is a game that came out, I think, before 9 or before 8.
I think it was around the same time as
around
9.
the same time.
Yeah.
But Luke, and that's him kind of like, after the destruction of the Death Star, so like just when he's almost basically like prime Luke in a way. He's like, they do his character so well in the video game, and then you go to the movie and it's awful.
Yeah.
But then Darth Vader, they have absolutely killed in a good way with everything they've ever done with Darth Vader, and showing like how fucking epic he is.
Oh yeah, the fights that he's been in, like Rogue One and whatnot.
Oh.
Like, you still, what I love is that they show that, like, he doesn't move a lot because they want to relate it to how he fought in the original. So, like, his movements are very slow, but that also makes him look so methodical whenever he's absolutely laying waste to people.
Oh. And then his power with the Force is so cool that even more, that he's like so like, spiritually powerful in a way. It's they've done him so well in everything that I can think of. Like the books I've read, video games. Like, what is it? The Jedi one, was it Last Survivor, or I can't remember.
Oh, Jedi Fallen Order and Last Survive.
Jedi Fallen Order.
Survive.
Yeah. When Darth Vader shows up and you're like, there's no way they have him Darth Vader, and then it's just survive, and you literally are just supposed to run away.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, okay. They've got Darth Vader down to a T. Like, he's always epic. It's weird that they mess up with Luke.
Right.
I guess they can't be perfect somehow.
They like, I don't expect perfect. I expect good enough.
Continuity is really what everyone... They just want it to make sense,
Make sense and be entertaining is literally it.
Yeah, which I don't have... Did you ever watch... We're going to go on a side tangent.
We're on a tangent. It's full. It's fine.
Did you ever watch Knives Out?
I did. It's so good.
Knives Out is such a good movie. Not only the first watch through...
And Glass Onion.
And Glass Onion, but the second and third watch, because then you know what to look for, and the things in the background make a lot of sense all of a sudden.
Also, it has Captain America use several swear words.
Great actor as well.
Yeah.
But that's Rian Johnson, who's the director for 8.
I know.
So in a weird way, I've gone back and forth. I can't tell if Rian Johnson was to blame for what happened in 8.
Yeah.
Or like...
I think he's not entirely to blame, but I think he holds a good share of the blame, right?
I think both him and J.J. Abrams love doing twists, right? Like, they love twisting expectations. Like, J.J. Abrams did it in the first one. with
like M. Night
who's the
Shyamalan.
Jedi and Han Solo dies, you know, stuff like that.
But he also did a lot of what was there, aside from like Rey being the Jedi. But again, it was obvious whenever you take the account that what he wanted to do with the first one was hit nostalgia and be like, hey, this is A New Hope. Like, we'll do more stuff. There's more stuff to see here.
Right.
But this is A New Hope, like, style of, like, this isn't a prequel, the prequels, right? This is going to be like the originals. And then Rian Johnson's like, okay, everything you did, I'm going to start slowly and methodically tearing it apart.
Yeah, I think
I'm going to just make up Force abilities.
Oh, that's true. I think J.J. Abrams had a vision for what he wanted, like, his twists to be.
Mm.
And then Rian Johnson had a vision for what he wanted the twists to be. But they're so conflicting.
Yeah, and they didn't have anyone to answer to or speak with each other about it, right? Like, Rian Johnson had notes, and he just chose to ignore them. Mm-hmm. But
I think that's why. I mean, this is an old rumor, but they were going to get the Russo brothers to do a prequel trilogy, like the Old Republic stuff. But because of their commitments to Disney, or I think it was Disney, to like Marvel shows or a Marvel series, they ended up not agreeing to it or whatever. But I'm worried that the movie scene of like the trilogy stuff could be like gone for a bit, which is going to be sad because I wanted, like, obviously they ended the Skywalker saga, but I wanted to see more of like the amazing world of Star Wars in a movie.
Also, like, there's that new Star Wars game that's coming out. I forget what it's called. Jedi Wonders or Star Wars Wonders or something like that.
Are you talking about the one that's like an open world where you're a bounty hunter?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, Wanderer or something, I think.
Yeah. I was just saying I am liking that Disney is willing to do things that don't involve Jedi. Because there's so much more to the world. Like, we were talking about how, like, we wish Finn was a Jedi and stuff like that, but that's because it fit within the narrative. But like, Mandalorian, I think, is like the strongest proof that, like, Andor, both of which were massive hits, and you don't have Jedi.
Oh, Rogue One, dude. Like, everyone loved Episode 7, and then they did Rogue One, and I think that was like peak Star Wars hype for like.
It was very divisive, though.
Was it?
Yeah, I remember Rogue One being divisive.
Me and my circle of Star Wars fans absolutely had a blast watching Rogue One and just like everything it did.
I agree. I think Rogue One was fantastic. To move slightly away from Star Wars, because we have been talking about Star Wars for like 30 minutes.
This is going to be a long episode, champ.
But also, to somewhat relate, because I think about it often. Have you seen Game of Thrones?
Yes. Okay. I got into Game of Thrones after it was over.
Oh, really?
So I watched I watched Game of Thrones like pretty regularly from start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'll say is that for example, that I didn't get the hate for the last couple seasons, specifically the last one, that others did.
I can explain my hate.
But so the way I always describe it to people is like the way it went for me watching it like as a binge is it went from like pretty much peak television where I never knew what was going to happen to kind of meh, where it's like you kind of see everything coming that happens, you know? Like the twist didn't
I think
happen.
it went from peak television to less than average television, personally. Like, so I was relating it to Star Wars because I think everything before season 6 is equivalent to like episode 7 of Star Wars, where it's like it's pretty good. There's a lot of hype to it. It's setting up for stuff, and then afterwards, I forget what the two Writer brothers' names are. But what they did with the story that they were left with after they like finished the books is 8 and 9.
Yeah.
Like, a great example is like with Star Wars, where they have they fly now, and then in they have and Daenerys kind of forgot about the Red Fleet or the Iron Fleet. It's like,
Yeah.
did she? Because she has 2 advisors that are from the Iron Fleet.
Yeah. Yeah, stuff like that. The way, at least, like, without knowing the greater universe, especially of Game of Thrones, which is massive compared to what the show could show.
Oh yeah.
Which, by the way, the shows they're doing now that have like George R. R. Martin, like, always on them,
House of
like, being a
Dragon.
big part. House of Dragon's been fantastic. I'm really excited for the other things they've announced too.
I'll have to eventually get around to watching it. I'm just still on my hate after
That's fair.
after last season, because like
House
there
of
was
Dragon
other stuff. Like, in my opinion, how you end that show is humanity loses, the White Walkers win, because the entire show is there's a danger, the White Walkers. From episode 1, we know this, and as people become aware of it, like, they keep putting off dealing with that to deal with other things, to deal with like politics and stuff. And even in the last season, like, it looks like everyone's coming together and Cersei betrays them. So I think what should have happened was they should have all just lost because of that. Because of human, like, greed and all the things that have caused everything wrong in the season, the White Walkers win.
Isn't it in the books, like, we don't really know anything about the White Walkers?
We
Like,
know,
there's no
we know
Night
some
King
stuff.
in the books, isn't there?
I believe there's Night King in the books.
I think I maybe I'm wrong, but I thought I heard that
We don't
the
know
Night
much
King-
of his backstory, right?
Okay.
But I believe he's made an appearance in the books. He is a character from like the greater lore.
Gotcha.
But as far as like his backstory and stuff, that's not told yet.
That makes sense. But yeah, that's I definitely see the way you would have done it would have been awesome. In a way, I feel bad. Like, the directors did, they were gifted, one of the best works of fiction, like, expanse wise.
And
out of everything,
they weren't the same equivalent of writers.
Yeah, they weren't the same level of storytellers.
Mm-hmm.
And George R. R. Martin was like trying to finish, but then also trying to finish made him delay.
Yeah,
he said that. But he also said that they rushed through the story in a way where he thought there could have been more stuff because they wanted to move on, and like they wanted to finish. Which, I mean, I get everybody's perspective in a way. It's just unfortunate the way it, like,
that last season was very rushed, I feel, production wise, because like you had things like the coffee cup on Daenerys' table and Jean guy in the background.
Yeah. Yeah. It's what I will say, like, if production, House of the Dragons, you're gonna love then when you check it out. Because they really do, like, they take that kind that they do the world justice, is what I
might wait until the last season's out just to be safe. Oh, here's another shitty show. I don't know if you watched it. Have you seen Gotham Knights?
I have not.
So
Gotham Knights.
I thought, it'd be following the game that came out, Gotham Knights by Rockstar, which is also not all that great, but it doesn't. So the plot is episode 1, Batman dies.
Okay.
And then the rest of it is his son. Now, who do you think the son of Batman is?
Isn't it one of the Robins? Canonically.
They're all the Robins are usually like adopted by him. So
yeah,
they would all be. Now, Damian is his like direct son.
Yeah.
So the writers decided to make up a whole new character that is not a Robin, and he's the main character, and he knows nothing and is whiny the whole time.
Ooh.
Yeah, the Robin is this girl that, like, I think was dating him or something. I don't know. I stopped watching. I was really looking forward to it because it had Castiel from Supernatural.
Oh, really?
And I really like that actor, Misha. But yeah, it's bad. It's so
Wow.
bad.
What? That's so tough.
Like, I don't know why these Batman TV shows keep coming out where Batman's either gone or dead. Like, you guys don't know the most important thing about Batman is that Batman's there.
Yeah. I think, yeah, what's crazy is how hard I think DC was crushing it. Animation, like animated wise, like the DC animated shows cleared.
Yeah.
Marvel, and I think when Marvel did the live action and like, I think overtook DC's profits in a way. They were probably like, "Oh, we need to do live action too."
Yeah,
And
no,
it
they
did
panicked,
just
yeah.
not work out in anything that they've done, really.
Yeah, you can see the change in them as soon as Avengers became such a huge hit. Because I think it was around that time that they announced they were done with the animated movies universe, and so they ended that project, and then it was full live action and like very tight schedule to get things out from there on. Oh, but the Batman movie with Patterson is
Bringing
like
back Twilight.
it all comes together. Eventually, we'll get back to VTubing. But like that is some good cinema.
I actually haven't seen it yet. It's like one of the things I've missed.
Like the most badass thing is Batman slowly walking towards something, and you hear like the stomping of his feet because he does it like 6 times in the movie, and every time he slowly walks over something, you're like, "Oh, here it goes."
Uh-oh, Batman's gonna beat up again.
Hey, they had it coming.
Okay, yeah, you might have to cut that one, Coda.
No, I'll just blur what you said.
Coda.
I'll just bleep what you said.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, they won't hear. They'll just.
Oh no.
But yeah, okay, so we're over an hour in. I think now is a good time for you to take the reins of the conversation.
Okay.
Anything you want to talk about? Any questions you got? What you got? Throw it.
Honestly, I don't really have kind of questions. I've just been kind of like going through the Vhuddle, like the process of just hanging out and kind of like meeting and playing with everybody. Obviously, we're a pretty big group. I guess this is where I start my intro. Hi guys, I'm TT Blurry. I'm Vhuddle member number 24.
Were you the 24th one to join?
Yeah, Vhuddle, where we huddle together. I don't know if I was 24 to join. I don't think so. But my favorite number is 24, so I thought I'd just
we'll just assume. Yeah.
Just take that. I mean, if we're getting numbers, I might as well give that one. But there's so many people in Vhuddle I haven't like met. You know?
Yeah, because of like different times and
yeah.
a lot of shy people.
Yeah, who we like don't know. But like I kind of just stumbled into Vhuddle anyway, you know? Like you played with Kira.
Yeah.
And then I was there. And then next thing I know, I'm in this collab Discord. And I was like, okay, I love gaming.
Yeah. Kira joined willingly. Then she played I think we played Valorant together. And I was like, okay, time to send an invite.
I mean, shoot, it's been great meeting a lot of more people, and I get a little uppity. I've grown at a faster pace than what I had been growing at since interacting and making collab stuff with people.
Yeah,
which is a lot of fun. I think the more we have fun, the better the content that is going to be produced. And then the more followers you're going to then get in return.
I kind of want to see where everyone is at a year from now. With all the support and like advice and everything from everyone else. Like how much everyone can raise up within a year.
That'd be like a good like snapshot thing of like getting a picture of everyone's follower counts or like the social blade, just like general. Of everybody, and then just be like, boom, this is the year of Vhuddle.
And it was entirely us. We did that.
We did it. The Vhuddle, the group, not the agency. But please sign this contract.
We're not an agency.
We're not an agency.
Yet.
I'm just gonna put Vhuddle collab group managed by Vhuddle.
Managed.
Managed by Vhuddle.
I can't manage
shoot,
myself.
If it became an agency, that'd be fantastic. You guys can take care of everything, and I'll stream. Perfect. Since I've got the reins,
Mhm.
it's not only, of course, just my episode code.
Okay.
It's a podcast.
It is.
We are two VTuber homies. What are you looking forward to in your upcoming content creation?
Okay, so right off the bat, there is Wuthering Waves is getting 1.1 update
Ooh, big update.
this weekend. The huge update. Lots of content to make on that. Those videos usually do pretty good. As far as like immediate, this is kind of my main focus right now is Vhuddle and the members in it. So my own content has like been slacking. I don't even know when the last time I made a tweet on my own channel was. But I've been enjoying, watching everyone, figuring out like, okay, how can I help with like people learning to edit? How can I who's streaming right now that I can give a shout out to, that kind of stuff. So I guess managing is more of what I'm doing these days.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, Vhuddle, especially being in its infancy, that's probably when the most work, I guess, you'll have as the head chairman, some could say, you'll have. Hopefully it'll be like easier sooner, so like you can focus on still like also being a content creator.
Yeah.
But it is appreciated with like how much like just resources we have to do stuff like through Vhuddle.
The Minecraft stuff. I've been looking into that. So as soon as I like get an idea of what kind of mods people want, I'll probably like figure out a day, like set a day and be like, hey, this day in 2 months or whatever, so people can like make sure that they have it free.
Yeah.
Like, we're playing some Minecraft.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. Not only just for like a huge, big like collab or something, but also just having like a space where we all interact, like in a game set.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
hoping if it's like, oh, you don't have to be in a call or something, it'll bring some of those shy members,
the shy people
out.
Which is fair. But yeah, I would look forward to doing the Vhuddle SMP, as they call it. With whatever Char and Def are cooking up, they are the protagonists sometimes.
They are the most talkative, I think. Currently in the chat.
Soul started talking a lot more. Sin also is like around.
Since I think is more waiting for her debut stream, which I believe is also on the 28th. So it'll have already happened by the time this goes out, but
yeah, Sin's got a debut, Rene's got a debut, Martian's got a debut. I've got a lot of debuts to juggle with as a chatter. I got a lot of places I need to be.
Your chat schedule's all full.
My chat schedule's so full. And then obviously, I don't want to spoil anything, but there are some people in Vhuddle who are working on updates to their models.
I think Char and I already spoiled it last time.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well then, Kira's working on a new model. It's a classic. To be fair, Kira has been looking for like a model that I think she finds her own.
Yeah, one she can call her own. That's why she doesn't have very many emotes, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay. Another reason she doesn't have any emotes is because she doesn't want to have emotes made. Like, it might be a bit of laziness.
Yeah, I keep saying that like I have resources for them to be made free. Maybe I should put those in the links channel, just so people can use it.
Yeah. I guess I have, I commissioned like a fellow VTuber who's pretty small. I got 10 emotes for $20, which was a steal.
Oh wow!
But there's like a free template for like emotes that are like 100 emotes but they're like the template, and then obviously you would draw over it.
Mm.
But like if you're an artist, then that's like that locks you can make 100 of your own emotes.
I like it's what I did was there's literally these websites where you upload your PNG and it does things like the rave bounce and stuff.
Oh yeah,
So I was just like,
yeah,
all right, I'll just do that and download all these for free.
yeah.
I have like 2 that I made myself. One where I'm in a jar and my skill issue holding up the sign.
That's always fantastic. But
But,
yeah,
yep, you still have rain. You still have time. What you got? What else you got?
that's a great question. What else do I got? I'm so flabbergasted at this very moment of what to talk about. I've got no clue.
You can ask me anything. I will answer. I might edit it out later, but I will answer.
Yeah, what's your social security number?
4.
Okay, hold on. I'm writing it down. Xbox, record this.
Yeah. Hey Siri.
Hey Siri, record. I don't really know, to be honest. I mean, there's not a lot happening for me at this very moment. It's kind of, which I enjoy. It's kind of like business as usual,
Hmm.
you know, for me. And it sounds like you also are busy. You've got your leader hat on, like going. We talked about books. We talked about movies. We spent so much time talking about Star Wars.
That's in the thumbnail, by the way.
Thumbnail Loki. Hopefully we're not going to obit with my Hobbit take, because I know that gets people riled up.
Well, that's already in a video, so we're good
Yeah,
there.
that's already at the start of another video, which is fantastic. What is your vision for what Vhuddle like turns into? Is this like the vision of like 30-ish people hanging out and doing collabs, or what's your goal?
I wouldn't say I have a goal for like number of members, because whenever I sat down to make it, I was like, okay, I want people that like will interact with and work together and stuff, because that kind of thing is very difficult for small creators. Because like anyone that you would typically want to work with, it's always going to be somebody bigger, or it's harder to get that experience from others. But I learned a lot over the past even the past 4 years, from both my time I spent with my friend Benny to just running my own channel. So I was like, well, why don't I make a place where I can share my info? And if other people have stuff they want to share, they can share it there. And we can play games together, because I really wanted to play Helldivers and Lethal Company with people. So I was like, okay, I'll make this Twitter post about this. But that was kind of the goal to begin with, and I think that'll still be the goal. Now this YouTube channel might be a gray area for like me, what I do with that, because the problem with this is like I'm loving this podcast and editing the collab videos and putting those on here. But if this starts making money, then I have to really think about what I'm doing with the money that I get from this. That's kind of like something I really need to think about for the future, is like what this channel itself will represent and mean, I guess.
Right. Oh yeah, I mean, I can see what you're going with, and yeah, it's fair that there's not really a plan yet, you know, because it's also, this is one of those things where like if you plan something out, it probably won't happen like the way you expect. With most things that are related to content growth, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure.
You can't really plan related to, but it's I think that it has been a fantastic asset as somebody who hasn't really done, like, I didn't really do collabs. I streamed with Kira, but that was only because like we were playing together before.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't know her before she was a streamer, but like we were playing together while she streamed, and then I was streaming, and that was like it's not like a real collab,
Right.
But like in this Discord, there's like they're collaborations where I'm like, okay, we're meeting up at this time to play this new game together,
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean,
think that's been
like 3 different ideas were posted in there just
The IDs
earlier
go
today.
crazy. Yeah, the IDs are going crazy with everything, which is great. Also, because that means like different people can join into like the different vibes.
Yeah. Because it does stretch like all forms of different like content. Who was it that was talking the other day? I think it was Mar. Was like, I want to do a stream, but not game related. I was like, oh, that's that's rare.
Yeah, just yeah. And I was like, yeah, I'd come by and chat it up. I'm a yapper.
You have
I
been
can
known to
yap.
yap.
I have been. I do speak fluent Japanese. Doctorate in Yapaholic. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited. Speaking of people in this Discord, I know it's Vhuddle, and V typically means VTuber. Is it meant as like a? Because everyone in here, I think, is a VTuber.
So yeah, whenever I
It's
made
like
the Twitter post, I made it
line.
on VTubers, but I never assumed that people had to be VTubers, right?
Makes sense.
It was just an easy avenue to find other creators was where I posted it.
Right. Gotcha. I mean, that makes sense. I was just because everybody ended up being, I think.
Dubstep is just a voiceover. He doesn't have a VTuber.
Doesn't have a VTuber. And then obviously Char is part VTuber, part flesh tuber.
Yeah.
But I think most people ended up being VTubers. But I was just wondering if, like, because obviously it had Vhuddle in it, so it's like VTuber Huddle.
Yeah, well,
was my
much like with VTuber, the V was for virtual.
Yeah.
So it's virtual huddle.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. I was just wondering if what the goal was going.
Or
forward.
Vhuddle, as some people want to call it.
Char calling it Vhuddle was crazy. and I've yet to find somebody who also thought it was Vhuddle. Looking for Vhuddlers, I guess. I'm not sure, but
I think that's on a different website. You might have to go incognito mode for some Vhuddlers.
Yeah, there's so many characters in this that it's pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
Char obviously I think is the peak on both of our minds, but I also think it's because that's who like we've played with.
Yeah.
Def is an unhinged psychopath.
I was about to say Deferred is also quite the character. I'm looking forward to his podcast.
I can't wait for Deferred's podcast. I can't wait for it to be 30 minutes because you have to make so many cuts. Based off of whatever Deferred's gonna say.
Next week will be 6. I've seen some of his content. He's quite the character.
Yeah, I have not seen any of 6's stuff. And this is another thing related to people in the Vhuddle is that like I don't know when they're live because like I don't.
Yeah, they don't all share their notification.
They don't
posts,
all share
which
when
is
they're
fair.
streaming. Yeah, and I also don't. Like some people don't have their Twitch on their bio.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'm like, well, I don't know how to find this person at all.
What you do is you go to the Vhuddle's following.
Yeah, the following and go from there. Work my way back.
Yeah.
But like, I'd love to show support to when people are live because I don't have my notifications for like Twitch and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I can't afford to. I follow too many people. But that's the most of the way that I found people in Vhuddle is either seeing them live or having them like be in a collab already and then watching their stuff. There is one person that I had seen their stuff beforehand.
Oh, really?
And it was Delphi.
Oh, you've seen Delphi before Vhuddle?
Delphi played it. Yeah. Let me double check real quick. I think it was through Twitter.
Mm.
I had seen Delphi before, mainly because their name is Pisstuber on Twitter. So like when I was on there, and I don't remember if it was Vhuddle or somebody had liked something before they were private, or whatever it was, but Delphi showed up on my Twitter page, and then later I think Delphi was in one of my streams. was like, wait, I know this name.
But yeah, this has been a great time. Do you want to talk about where people can find you?
Sure. You can find me on all social medias at tt_blurry. Everywhere. Twitter, YouTube, definitely Twitch. Donations are accepted, of course. Please feed me. I really like Chick-fil-A.
He is starving. Wait, Chick-fil-A.
I am starving for attention.
Are you going to a competitor?
A competitor?
Yeah. You said Chick-fil-A.
Let's
Excuse
be real.
me, sir. Coda fried
Let's
chicken.
be real. Let's keep it a buck. KFC is not a competitor to Chick-fil-A. That's like saying
They are on Sunday.
on Sunday, KFC cooks.
Where else can you get a tub of chicken and a bean burrito other than a KFC Taco Bell?
KFC, in my mind, maybe I was younger, maybe I didn't have good taste buds, but KFC nowadays is not as good as KFC like 10, 15 years ago.
I think it's a location dependency. My KFC, pretty good, the one in my town. But whenever I've gone to other KFCs, I'm like, what did they do with this?
Yeah, I think it's I will say every KFC I've ever gone to, always, without fail, absolutely has fantastic mashed potatoes. Like, it's like...
What about the mac and cheese? Opinion on the mac and cheese, and that'll determine if we're friends.
Okay, so mac and cheese, I like it small. Like, it gets old for me quickly.
That's fair.
So like I'll get a small mac and cheese, but I can't get like a full side of mac and cheese. Like it's got to be like one of like a small portion of it, like one of those tiny cups.
Yeah. I'm a mac and cheese fiend typically, but we got my son the Chef Boyardee Easy Made like cups of stuff, and one of them was mac and cheese. I was like, oh well, I'm peckish. I'll try one of these. Man, I'm never buying him those again. That was literal garbage.
Oh no!
I would rather get the lead poisoning from a Lunchable.
Jesus. Yeah. Mac and cheese, it's the peak for me, and I can't find it anymore. They do the like crossovers, right? Where they're like faces from whatever like media they're in. But it's like Pokemon, but like the old Pokemon, like Turtwig, Piplup, Chimchar. That they had a crossover with that for mac and cheese crafted. That was the best mac and cheese I think I've ever had.
Which was the best flavor? Was it Turtwig, Chimchar, or Piplup?
Honestly, you had to just... I was taking handfuls out of those things, to be honest.
I thought it'd be Turtwig because it's more earthy.
Earthy? I don't know. Charmander gets a nice hotness to it.
Chimchar?
What did I say?
You said Charmander.
This
is one of my games. You can't get them wrong in front of me.
Speaking of Pokemon games and you, I know Char brought it up, kind of. But she brought up the Pokemon roguelike.
Yeah.
Have you tried it out yet?
I haven't. I've been meaning to.
The web one, Pokerogue.
Mm-hmm.
That game, it is a blast. I will say, fantastic. I've enjoyed it a lot. You do have to turn on a specific setting in your Google Chrome for it to work.
What if I don't use Google Chrome?
Okay, good luck, gamer. I have no idea.
What if I only use Opera GX, and you can too by clicking the link down below?
Okay. You know what? Fair enough. I actually don't know how. I bet Opera GX would work. I don't know if they have the same setting you have to turn on for...
It's basically a jerry-rigged Chrome, if I'm being honest with you, what Opera GX is. It's just Chrome, but it has things that like lessen the RAM and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, on Chrome you have to turn on graphic accelerator to like make the game not drop frames, even though it's pixel art, which is weird.
Well, it's high definition pixel art.
Yeah, high D pixel art. But I wonder if Opera GX would skip that. In which case, click the link below.
I don't even have an affiliate link, but I'll just put it. Oh, I can't put any links actually. Damn.
I wonder about that. What do you mean you can't put any links? Because I have always been able to put links.
YouTube wants me to verify my ID or have like 2 months of history for the channel. So the problem with verifying my ID is my driver's license does not say Vhuddle business. But that's
account?
No, see, I made a personal account, but for first name I put Vhuddle and for last name I put business. You can put whatever you want there, but you can't verify it.
I think you can. I think they just ask for, I mean, at least for me, they just ask for a phone number.
Oh, but my phone number is linked to my main channel.
Yeah, you can have multiple. So I have multiple linked to my. I have some God forbidden cursed accounts linked. That back when I was a youngin, planning different sorts of content, like Zach's thoughts.
Just
name drop in there.
Just psychopath.
Yeah. I mean, okay, it's a first name. I'm a white guy in Texas. Nobody's finding me. Okay. I'm pretty.
You heard him. White guy, Texas, Zach.
Lock in, gamers.
Near a Chick-fil-A.
Okay, yeah, that's like saying I'm in Texas. I will say one thing Texas does well is having Chick-fil-A.
Because it's a God-given restaurant.
If anything, can you imagine Texas opens up their Chick-fil-A's on Sunday? I think Texas would become overpopulated.
I think they would riot.
Oh, man.
That's not what God intended.
I mean, we'll get some atheists to work on Sunday. I'm sure the chicken will taste just as good.
Why doesn't Chick-fil-A just do that?
I will say, I watched do you know Dr. K?
I do not.
So he does Twitch and YouTube, but he's a psychiatrist. And he's talked to big streamers and stuff and done content with them about just general psychology things. Not treating, but more of just having a discussion and giving insight to some things of psychology.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things that he talked about is why Chick-fil-A's is as big as it is there's something to say about not being able to get something on
the
certain
exclusivity.
Days. Yeah. So because they're off for a day, the other days feel more important and make you want to get it more.
It's why the McRib goes away seasonally.
Yeah. That's why seasonal things do numbers.
Even though it's the worst product McDonald's makes.
I'm going to be honest, the only thing the McRib's ever done for me is give me that fantastic clip of the "Excuse me, bitch." I don't know if you've seen that.
I haven't.
Oh my gosh, it's it's a classic YouTube video. Good old Darla. It's "Excuse me, bitch," and it's so funny. And I don't even like ribs, but I do love.
Well, don't worry, because the McRib is not actually made out of ribs. It's coming from somebody that used to work at McDonald's. It's just, it's a slab of the same meat that we get for burgers, shaped like ribs.
That's crazy. Okay. I'm going to send this to you. It's going to be in our DMs. So obviously, chat's not going to get this. Chat. The video I just called the watchers chat. But it's a minute long. It's a minute long video. Oh my shit! It's the funniest fucking thing. One of the funniest things on the internet. Oh, God. I started to play it.
It's all right. I'll watch it later. But for right now, I think that this has been a good episode.
What's our time at? Are we longer than Char's episode?
We're about the same.
Okay, that I can live with.
I mean, if you got one more topic you want to throw in.
Honestly, I've been spinning my wheels for
Okay.
about 45 minutes here.
Yeah, that's fair. Ever since the Star
haven't
Wars, it's gone downhill.
It's Star Wars derailed me in a different way. You know, not in a bad way, but I was like, now I'm like super, like, oh, you want to talk about Deadliest Catch? Like, I want to talk about like other things not related to Vhuddle or like me as a content creator whatsoever.
But it's you as a person, which I think is important.
It's true. I am a good person. That long pause there was incredibly disappointing. You have to keep that in.
But yeah, next week we will have 6 on here, and eventually we'll have Blurry back because this will keep going.
Okay, round 2.
It won't get away.
We'll be able to circle back on our Star Wars and Game of Thrones conversation.
Hell yeah, we'll have all new Star Wars and Game of Thrones to talk about by then.
Okay, and then we can talk over Kira's fan fiction she's going to write of
right, she has to have it out by then.
She has to, otherwise she's going to be literally George R. R. Martin.
We can voice act it.
Well, okay, we will not be voice acting.
I'll be Tamlin.
It's gonna be rated R.
I got a censor. Don't worry.
Yeah, long censors are gonna be in there. All right, but it's gonna be 6, which is exciting. Oh my god, I can hear 6's intro music. That'll play crazy for people who are playing this on a playlist.
But yeah, we'll see you in a future video. Peace.
Bye.